how the am I supposed to do it all? Hello friends, and welcome to this video where I'm going to be sharing my experience and tips, and it's going to be fast paced. It's going to be around housework routines, tips and things to make your life easier. I'm here for you. If you like this video, do give me a thumbs up, as I really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. First things first, and that's make a list. It might sound boring, but mate, like honestly, it actually makes a difference. Without knowing what you're going to do, you can't prioritize the things that you need to do. So what I do is always start a list, whether it's in a diary, whether it's on your phone, whether it's like just a note on the fridge. Honestly, a list really goes a long way, and it can be really overlooked. I do this every single day. I make a little list that I know that I can tick off, and things that I need to prioritize for the day. Everything else that I do on top of that is a bonus. Leave the dirt before it even comes into the house. So what I mean by that is, if you've got kids and a dog, what you should do is actually make sure that all the muddiness, all the dirt and everything stays outside of your house as much as possible. So to give you an example, I walk my dog every day, and if he comes back muddy, I make sure that I use something called a mud daddy, so a little portable shower to actually clean his paws before he even comes through the door. And then because I live in the UK, it rains a lot. It means a lot of mud, and my son loves football and he's very active, so it means that like muddy shoes, muddy, you know, I imagine muddy football boots in the future. If you guys take car journeys to like a country park or somewhere really muddy as well, or even football classes, then make sure that you actually put the boots or the muddiness into a bag, especially if you're in the car. Like, just change your footwear. That's a nice easy trick to do before you even come into the house. So we actually have like a porch area, so we make sure that we actually get to take off our shoes before we even come into the house. So even if you don't have a porch, I recommend actually doing that outside the front door and just making sure that everybody takes their shoes off, and that makes life a lot easier, so that you can basically enjoy a cleaner space for longer. Then you don't have to actually clean it or deep clean it as often. But I'll talk about maintenance later on as well. So let's talk about maintenance over big jobs. So I very much recommend and absolutely love maintaining my space over deep cleans. Obviously I do deep cleans as well, but I do them less often in my opinion, because I maintain my space. So to give you an example, I actually like cleaning the shower whilst I'm in the shower. So make sure to grab a scrub with you, you know, and just, it's not much that you need to do. Just scrub here, scrub there, all done. You know, I use a squeegee as well, just to make sure that there's no dust or dirt or hairs or anything around too. But you're doing it whilst you're having a shower, so like you're multitasking. I'm all about multitasking. And then you can like put away laundry as soon as it's done, rather than let it pile up. I do not like things to pile up in the corner. I don't like visual clutter. I just want to get it done, and I love organisation. So what I do is I pick up that pile, sort it, buff, buff, buff into each room and the shelf or like drawer that it needs to go in, and it's done. And then you don't have to worry about like a huge pile that is basically like a chore on your shoulders, you know what I mean? So maintenance over big jobs is like a big deal. So this next tip is all about having a spare of everything, and I love this tip because you need spare things, because you're more than likely to have it broken or to have it dirty. So some of the things could be like bedding. So if you know that the kid is learning how to go to the potty, especially during the night time, if they wee during the night, you know that you've got a spare bedding that you can just like change over. But what is even better is if you're clever about it and have like a topper on top of a topper, so the spare is actually underneath, so you don't actually have to worry about changing it during the night. You can just take that top layer off. Hopefully it doesn't soak through, because it's really thick. You know, a mattress topper is about like this thick, and it's, if you buy a good quality one, it's like amazing at soaking it up. And then you can shove that in the washing machine, go to bed and not worry about it. Then you've actually got another one underneath. But yes, spare of everything honestly is like the best thing ever. Along the same lines, actually have a protector as well. So I've mentioned around the mattress topper, but what I mean here is not only like protecting your mattress, but also like screen protectors. We know that like if they're on the iPad, on a game as well. We bought our son a Switch for his last birthday, and we made sure there's a protector on that, because like accidents do happen, but you can minimize it. But I also have it across all devices too. So my phone, I know that my phone gets touched by the kid, you know, so you need to make sure that you're protecting things as much as possible. Use your empty time wisely, and I've mentioned this one before in the past in my videos. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to the toilet, right, and you notice that the sink needs like a little bit of a scrub, needs a clean, buff, you're doing it just as like you're washing your hands, right? Because you're there, and it takes like 2 minutes, if that. And another thing is like shelves. So I do not like dusting shelves, but what I do is actually sandwich it in between everything else that I do, which means that like I could be in my bedroom doing my hair, for example, and then I notice that actually the shelf needs like a bit of dusting. So what I get is like a moist cloth, buff, done. Literally took me 2 minutes. It's also a great way to sandwich it between things, like when you're procrastinating. So for example, if you're a working mum like me, then you do like an office job or like on your computer, then you're like, oh okay, I need a break. So I'd have a cup of tea, empty time, which means I can do something quickly. Buff, it's a great way to make use of your time when you're working from home. Set regular chores. So it's like having a routine of housework. So here it means everything. So like any housework that needs cleaning a particular room, it means bins, it means, you know, watering flowers, it means groceries, it means basically hoovering spaces around your house. So if you have a schedule and you know exactly when things are happening, then you would actually get used to doing that. But also you'd manage expectations. So for example, you don't have to do this alone, which I'll talk about later, but you can also schedule this time for someone else to do in your family, right? So basically the idea is that you know exactly what's happening where. So to give you an example, we have the groceries usually Sunday morning, and we know that's always happening, therefore everybody's on hand to help. Let's talk about vacuuming and also mopping. But basically I love a handheld hoover because it's so much easier to grab and do little ones, little like, you know, vacuuming areas rather than like a big cleanup. And also I like to maintain the space, which I've spoken about earlier. But basically what I'm trying to say here is make sure that you've got the tools that help you with these chores and make it as easy as possible, which means that you're more likely to actually do them. I'm a believer that if you have a good tool to help you do something, then you're going to do it so much quicker and you're more likely to want to do it as well. So the same for mopping, guys. I like the fact that I've got a mop and a bucket that are super easy to use, that actually help me do my job that I need to do quite quickly, and therefore basically the things get done. Any of the things that I will show you, I will make sure to link down below for you guys to make it super easy for you to buy if you wanted it as well. Let's talk about quick bursts of cleaning. So you don't have to do deep cleans all the time. I've already spoken about maintenance. Here I mean like a quick burst of doing activity of like cleaning something. It could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes, it could be a power hour. But basically, especially if you've got kids, you know how crazy it gets. The whole house could be upside down. But if you take 10 minutes, you can be surprised how much you can get done. It's like pick up all the toys, buff, put it aside, and it's already so much cleaner and neater. So this next tip is about cleaning one thing a day. So you would have heard about decluttering something once a day. So it's a little bit similar, and actually decluttering something a day will help you because the less things you own, the less you have to clean and tidy, right? But basically it could be like a one item that you clean and give to the charity shop, or it could be a 10-minute burst of cleaning session that you do. Like it could be a power hour, it could be a deep clean. But if you do something once a day, you can maintain your space without having to do like big cleans every single week. So it's a fantastic way to keep your space basically clean and tidy when you're really, really busy. So last but not least, I've briefly mentioned it earlier, but it's about sharing the load. You don't have to do all of it on your own. It's great to teach the kids to do that very early on. Yes, I know that might take them a bit longer, but actually in the long run, that means they will learn that they have to help around maintaining their space, but also it's a great skill to have in the future when potentially they're living alone. But the other thing is get your partner involved. I know that my husband usually does the bins. He also cleans the kitchen every night for us, so like it basically makes such a big difference for me, so that I don't actually have to think about these things, and it's just about sharing the load. It's a partnership for the whole family, so everybody should be getting involved. I really hope that you find this video useful. I'd love to know what things you'd recommend, so comment those down below. And basically, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!